Hi everyone, today is the first day of math at home. We're going to do fractions and decimals review today. Today will be mostly fractions. So we're going to start with reminding you what is a unit fraction. And so right here it gives you the definition. It says, in math, a unit fraction is a fraction whose numerator is 1. It represents one shaded part of all the equal parts. So you can see on all of these fractions, the numerator is 1. So I made a list of 5 fractions here, and I want you to pause the video and then think about which ones would be considered unit fractions. Unit fractions are the fractions that have 1 in the numerator. So these two, 1/5 and 1/10, are both unit fractions, not any of those. Now we're going to talk about what are multiples of unit fractions. So if 1/6 is considered a unit fraction, if we skip count by 1/6, it would sound like this: 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6. So all of these are multiples of 1/6. We can look at that same thing that I just did on the previous slide of counting by 1/6 with just a different visual. So right here is 1 times 1/6 is 1/6. 2 times 1/6 is 2/6. 3 times 1/6 is 3/6. 4 times 1/6 is 4/6. Can you write the next 2 problems? Pause and write them down and then come back and see if you're right. The next 2 would be 5 times 1/6 and 6 times 1/6. And those could be written as 5/6 and 6/6. Now it's your turn to try. There are 4 sample problems here below, and I want you to write each fraction below as a multiple of a unit fraction, just like we did on the previous slide. So pause, solve, then push play and see if you got it correct. To write 4/10 as a multiple of a unit fraction, we would first need to know what is the unit fraction. So for 4/10, it would be 1/10. And then I think to myself, how many of those do I need to get to 4/10? So the correct answer would be 4 times 1/10 equals 4/10. For number 2, 12/8, the unit fraction is 1/8. How many of those do I need? 12. 1/8 times 12 equals 12/8. You might have noticed here on these, I put the fraction first on the second one, and I put the whole number first on this one. Either way is correct. Number 3, the unit fraction is 1/6, and I would need 7 of them. So 7 times 1/6 equals 7/6. Number 4, 10/12. The unit fraction is 1/12. I would need 10 of them to get all the way to 10/12. So 10 times 1/12 equals 10/12. Now that you have already written your own multiplication problems using a whole number and a unit fraction, this part should be simple. I'm going to ask you to solve the multiplication problems that I give you, taking the whole number times the unit fraction. So in this example here, 9 times 1 equals 9. The denominator stays the same. So 9 times 1/5 is 9/5. I'll do number 1 with you and then ask you to do the rest on your own. So you'll pause and then check your work. Number 1, 7 times 1 is 7. The 3, or denominator, stays the same. 7 times 1/3 equals 7/3. Solve the rest on your own while pausing the video and come back. Number 2 down at the bottom. 4 times 1, 6. 4 times 1 is 4. We leave the denominator the same, 4, 6. Some of you might be wanting to simplify that, which is fine. So 4, 6 would be the same as 2/3 because I divided the top by 2 and I divided the bottom by 2. Number 3, 2 times 2 is 4. Keep the denominator the same. The answer is 4/5. Number 4, 10 times 3 is 30. Keep the denominator the same. 30 over 5, or 30/5, is an improper fraction. So you can change it by doing 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5 comes out to an even whole number, 6. Now we're going to look at some models and determine how to write a multiplication equation with a whole number and a fraction. So looking at this picture, you would first want to determine what is the unit fraction. So you can see each of these circles is divided into thirds. So we know the unit fraction for thirds would be 1/3. Now I need to count how many 1/3s are represented in the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 1/3s, so that means I have 9 groups of 1/3. I have 9 thirds. And since that's an improper fraction, if you change it, you're going to see that it equals 3, which makes sense because you have 3 whole pies, or 3 whole circles shaded in. Can you write a multiplication equation with a whole number and a fraction for this picture? Pause the video and come back and see if you did it correctly. I first am counting how many parts is each square divided into. It's divided into 4 parts. So each part is 1/4. How many of those do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Some of you might have just done that quickly in your head, but I just wanted to show you. So there are 20 of the 1/4 seen in the picture. So 1/4 times 20, or 20 times 1/4. Either way is correct, and the answer would be 20/4, or 5. All right, so now it's time to check your understanding and let you practice. There are 5 problems on the screen. On your paper, go ahead and solve all 5. After you pause the video, then come back and see if you're right. I've written in all the answers in red. And if any of these answers do not make sense to you, you'll want to just go back and watch portions or all of this entire lesson again. You can pause this if you need to before going to the next slide. Yay, you're all done. Any questions, you can send it to me with an email or on Google Classroom. There's a heading that says Question Corner, and you can write that there. Have a good day. You rock.